morning, everybody. It's time now for Around the County with Nelson County Judge-Executive Tim Hutchins, heard here each Tuesday during the 11 o'clock hour on WBRT Radio and on BRTV, Bardstown Cable Channel 19. It's all made possible by Joe Hill's Power Sports and Equipment on Salem Drive here in Bardstown. And we'll hear from them in just a moment. But first, good morning greetings to Judge.
Yeah, good morning, Ralph. Yeah, how you doing today?
Well, a beautiful day out, and the rain's out, so I'm doing okay.
Yeah, we had some slight flooding, Saturday when it rained hard. Man, we've had a lot of rains, in the last month or so, but nothing major, but we did have some in some low-lying areas that went over the road, but luckily nothing major at this time. So the wind's going to get up today. I was going to talk about that a little bit later on. Our road department, we started a tree program the first year I came in with, kind of split our road crew, maintenance crew up a little bit, and then all these trees on the right-of-ways. We've had calls over the years, and before I got there, and we contracted out, still have to contract out at something, huge, but we've cleaned up a lot of right-of-ways and trees, and mainly the ash trees that have failed, that's died because of the ash borer. And the wind, I think you just had a report, the wind's going to get up again today, and it is dangerous. You take these trees on the right-of-way, they fall and hit a vehicle, or at nighttime, dark, and you can't see, and so we do address that, and we take that very serious. And if anybody calls and or sees something that's in danger, power lines, trees, power lines, right-of-ways, limbs falling on the possibility on the roadways, so we encourage them to call. They call the road department 348-1881, or my office 348-1800 anytime. So we want to make sure that the safety for the citizens is the first and foremost, because after all this rain and everything, the ground is very wet, and it don't take as much wind to blow a tree over. So I just want to bring that up today so that everybody know that.
Mm-hmm. And let's remind everybody that our phone line and text line are the same number, 502-348-2222. And Ryan will be answering the phone and getting you sent in to us. Let's hear from our sponsor, Joe Hills, because the phone lines are ringing, and I think the text lines may be moving too. We'll be back with more of today's show, Around the County. We are back here on Around the County on this WBRT radio, and Judge Executive Tim Hutchins in each Tuesday, and sometimes with guests, and maybe one coming up in the future. Judge, are you ready?
Ready to go, yes, sir.
All right. We have somebody on the phone. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Judge, this is Billy Stallings over on Panton Road in Boston.
Yes, sir.
There's a little narrow cupboard over here that it's more or less a one lane off of Panton Road, off of the 46th side. And I've had several people almost run over me out here, but now the bridge, it's not a bridge, it's a cupboard, it's sinking down on the right coming in and washing out on the left. And I need somebody to come out and look at it before it falls in.
Is that Patton Road?
Yes, sir.
And give me your number in case I don't find the right spot. Can you give me a number?
My number is 502-549-8828. And Tim, you know me, so.
What's your name?
Billy Stallings.
Oh, yeah.
I'll gas to you for years.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I appreciate the call. If you see anything else out there, you let us know, and I'll have somebody check on it, okay?
Yeah. I've been up at the county's garage a couple of times, but never have been able to catch anybody in there.
Yeah, we keep them busy. We don't let them sit around too much. It's
right.
got a lot going on, so.
Okay, you and Ross have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Billy. 348-2222. Yeah, you don't want to pull up there and see them all.
No,
unless it's before they head out in the morning or come in the evening.
Yeah, they stay busy. We got a really good crew there at the road department, and they're doing an excellent job, I'll tell you that. So, Joe Hill's Power Sports,
yes, sir.
And Equipment. That's what I say. I want to thank them again, and they sponsor this show, so we want to make sure they get credit. Joe Hill's Power Sports and Equipment. And the number here is 348-2222. We expect anybody to call and text if you can, and let us know anything you want to discuss. So,
Judge, you had a birthday in your household over the weekend, or maybe yesterday, wasn't it? It was yesterday.
I don't know. Did I really? Hope I didn't forget about it. My wife Gina's birthday. I'm not a big birthday person, and my family growing up there, because there was 8 kids, and my mother would always cook a fried chicken dinner and maybe have a homemade cake. Definitely wasn't no bought cake, and so that's how we've never been I haven't a big birthday type. I say once you get past 5 years old and you forget about it. So, but the reason I remember hers is St. Patrick's Day. So that way I don't forget it. That's a good thing. But yeah, that was turned out to be pretty good. The next week I'm gonna let you know that I'm gonna have Jailer Justin Hall on here with me next Tuesday, and like I said before, from time to time we'll have some people or guests come on and talking about issues all over the county. And anybody that wants to be on here, just to be clear, it don't have to be a public official. It can be a private. It can be about, like I said before, any activities that's going on, homemakers or anybody wants to come in and talk about what they're doing in the community. So all they have to do is reach out 348-1800, 348-1800, and let my staff know, and we'll definitely get them on here, because there's a lot of things going on in the community that people really don't know about, and trying to get more people involved. But next week, Jailer Justin Hall will be on here with me, and we can talk about anything that anybody wants to call about. So I confirmed that this morning. So,
of course, the correction center here is gone through a lot of renovation through the efforts of Justin, and also the roadside cleanup and other things, landscaping, which is really getting ramped up now with this this weather and rain. The crews that from the jail have done a great job and a great service to our community. Yeah,
we can get in all that next week, but it's been the inmate program has been, well, we're using them on this bulky item pickup that we're talking about here also. It just saves the county a tremendous amount of money overall. Just it's a lot of things you don't realize until you have to really let people know what it is. And
a couple of questions on the text line. Do them in order that they came in. Do you foresee recycling coming back to Nelson County?
Yeah, we've talked about this for when I first got in. Let's see, I'm going in my 3rd year. So that first year, we applied for a grant, and when we take these bins, recycling bins, they used to have some around the county, and for whatever reason they quit doing it. I think the COVID and all that stuff, probably happened, and there were some issues. It was started even back when I was a master. We had a few scattered around, and of course the city of Bardstown has some, but we have probably up to maybe 15 or maybe so those bins. I don't think we've got them in yet. We ordered, we got I believe it was a $243,000 grant that I applied for that we received to buy. I believe it was like 12 new bins. Then we had some bins that we're cleaning up and painting, and I've got some from some other entities that were going to be kind of scattered around the county. Gary Bishop with the Operation Clean Up Nelson County. I don't know exactly the proper name of it, but we've got a recycling committee that's really been active, and the community care works with the Guthrie Opportunity Center with some of the mentally challenged there that they use, and they do they've done a good job over the years. We're trying to help them expand that and get it better and open more times, and we'll have some bins around. And why I think it's going to be more effective now or better is because we do have the inmate program going. Because in the past, you would have junk and trash and litter, and some people abuse it. And commingles, they would commingle some things and so on, and it would be kind of an eyesore. So we've kind of got a plan together that every day that somebody would be going around these bins and cleaning up and checking on them, and we're going to have cameras at every bin to make sure that if anybody does anything that, they will get prosecuted. And so that's a ongoing project that I think is going to be really good. I've had some people ask me about the door-to-door recycling. They had some bins in the past, probably at Maywood and a few other places that we'll probably look into that too as time goes on. I know we will. So we took a trip here 2 weeks ago looked at some other landfills and recycling center that we went to. It was really amazing how they was recycling some of this stuff and making like these little, it looked like kind of like plastic pellets, and they used that, and they was making molds for these cars, different types of parts. So we have studied it and we looked at it, and it's something that's pretty high on my agenda, and hopefully we can get more and more people to do that, and we're going to have the opportunities to do that, and that's something that I think everybody needs to do more of. I mean, I'm guilty of not doing it as much as I should be, but we got to start with the kids, and hopefully we can do more recycling in the community.
Yeah. And Gary's program is going to be also school-based.
School-based.
They'll have bins in the schools and do some education there. Let's see. Next up, who to contact for a big pothole? It's on Murray's Run Road, according to this caller.
Probably me. Murray's Run Road.
Murray's Run Road. Didn't get any more specific than that, but we can pull the phone number when we're done and get that to you.
Well, okay, I'll have somebody around it and check it out. There's been, we talked about this before, it's been a wet, nasty winter and freezing and thawing, and the water is not good on blacktop. And I went to Bowling Green this weekend and was driving 65, even on the good part of the roads. You just come up on the places like somebody just almost took and just, broke it loose. So these things can happen, but you don't even realize they're happening. So it's very important people will call and let us know, and encourage people like this one is if they can call 348-1800 and let us know that anytime. They don't have to call on this show. So we want to make sure that safety-wise we can try to make sure that everything's fixed and repaired. And I will get on that one as soon as I get off here today.
Does the county still operate a asphalt machine, a paving machine?
Yeah, we've got our own paving machine that we do some small roads and what I call strip patching. Mm-hmm. It's a whole lot better. We've had that machine, I don't know, when I was off the court, they ended up buying the machine, and then we put a new, what I call, head on it this winter. It actually got hit, and don't know how it got tore up with the bearings and so on. So, and the insurance helped us with that. So we've got a new paving head on it, or hopper, I guess you'd call it. Mm-hmm. And so this starting back up, we'll be using that again, and we use it on some small roads. They do a really good job with it. I mean, you've got to take somebody who knows how to operate it, but. And then on the bigger roads, our contract is with Mago, and that bid will be coming back up in July. And the bigger streets, long streets, and the roads, and that way it works out pretty good, really.
If somebody sees something on a state road, should they go ahead and contact you, or should they try to go through?
They can call 1800. Just call 348-1800. Yeah. It's the best way. If I just, instead of giving everybody numbers, let us help do the communicating. And I had a gentleman member called last week about New Haven Road, and I went out there and the site distance, get calls or texts from time to time, and we can help coordinate that. I think it's probably just as easy if they can call this number or that number, 348-1800, and the girls. Madison will take the notes and I'll get them to the appropriate people, and that's probably the simplest way to do it.
And sometimes people may not realize who is the actual owner of the road.
Right.
And should, but there's always some questions of some roads.
Yeah, it's if it's a state road or a city street or a county road. I've get calls, probably a lot more than anybody realizes on some of the city streets, and I tell them, it's not our road when they call me or whoever, and I let them know what department should be taking care of it. But we do help coordinate it and make sure that it gets to the right people, because we're out here serving. I represent the whole county and city and all the cities in the county, and I think it's my job to communicate and let everybody know what we can do. And I help, like the different mayors, they call about some things, so we try to coordinate and help all of them in any way we can.
Coming up Monday, we begin the third and final phase of the bulky item pickup. This is, I guess, one we consider this the south part of the county, from the Bluegrass Parkway down, and 49 is kind of the dividing line. No, it's actually the east part of the county when you get right to it. That's right. I've got to turn my map. But it starts on Monday, the third and final phase, and scheduled for, how long do y'all, 2 weeks?
2 weeks is kind of what we kind of pre-plan. I think we're going to be a little bit early on this one area they're in this week. They'll probably get done a couple days earlier, which is really good for us because it'll help us get some of these jobs done, these potholes, and so we won't get behind on that part of it. So it's been moving really good, and there hadn't had any problems that I know of, and we've used some of the landfill roll-off trucks, and we even picked up a lot of limbs because of all the storms that we usually don't do, and for us to be ahead of schedule by doing that, it's worked out pretty well.
Yep. Don't forget that the tires, a maximum of 8 passenger tires at each house there, need to be set separately. Really, you need to set everything kind of separately, including the limbs.
Yeah, if we get the limbs in one pile, and then the tires in one pile, and then your so-called junk in another pile, it sure makes it a whole lot easier on our crews.
We're going back to the telephone here on Around the County. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, Tim. This is Bubba again. I know y'all know Bubba. I got a question about the bypass coming in Burton's mobile home trailer park. Okay, are they going to shut that road off, or is it going to go to county road or state road to go through to the bypass? Or do you have any information on that?
Well, the new bypass, and I'm sure you're familiar with it, you can see where it cuts through off Boston Road over to 245.
Right.
And then those other 2 streets, there's 2 county roads that would be extended into that. And if you ask me the name of those 2 streets, I don't know.
Well, one of them's Piper.
Yeah, that's one. And then the other one, is it maybe Stinson? Does that sound right? But they...
Well, it could possibly, yeah.
But they will be extended, those 2 county roads will be extended down to the bypass, and that's where they'll connect. And then, without telling you all of it, there's a plat, and if you want me to get you a copy of it, you call 348-1800 and tell the girls, and I'll get you a copy of the plat.
Yeah.
And,
question. I guess my question is, okay, once the big trucks or whatever, cars or whatever's coming, they will be coming east from the quarry into town. They got to have like a exit, or an exit like you would off 65. You got so much space, to get in the traffic. So I was told that they're going to have that exit to the left so the trucks can slow down and make that turn. So there's going to be a distance, and I'm wondering if the distance is going to go up to Burton's mobile home trailer park. So will it allow them people to come in that way off of the Boston Road, State Road?
I guess you're talking about basically kind of like a turning lane.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah,
They'll have
a turn lane. But I can't really answer that on the Boston Road side exactly. Like I say, I've got that plat, but
Yeah.
if I told you exactly what it'd be, I'd probably be lying to you because I don't know. I've studied and looked at it, but I can't give you a direct answer. But I'll try to find that out for you.
I don't want you to lie, but here's what here's what we need to do is that road coming in through there. I got properties over here, and that's why I'm interested. But anyway, and coming into the Burton Mobile Home Park, you talk about potholes. You can't even drive through there without going in somebody's yard, just constantly. And so, if there's any way that even the county could take their little blacktop machine, I hear y'all bragging about, and then and do it.
Was we bragging about that, Roth? I said, I asked Roth, were we bragging about that machine?
Yeah, bragging. You're bragging about it. It had a new head and all that, the insurance paper. But I'd like to see it in use. And but my point is, let's blacktop it, solve the problem, and then segregate the cost.
Let me tell you that. Let me tell you the answer to that. We got a call about that last week too. That one road that you're talking about, the one that's really rough with all the potholes, is a private road.
I understand.
And it's not, I can't legally go in and do anything on that road, and because it's a private road. Now, I have addressed it. I've talked to a county engineer, and I've talked to the state guy when he was building this bypass. The company that was coming in going to use some of those roads.
Yeah.
And they had, as you well know, they had a death in the family, and I don't know anything about their situation, but we're trying to find out and check it out because it is really, really rough. Really rough.
Yeah. If you had the permission to blacktop it for the benefit of the whole park, not just Burton's, but everybody comes in a way, even on the stump side, comes in on that side. They use the heck out of that road, but, and I can understand when Lawrence was living, of course, he had to fix the potholes all the time, but yet a lot of the people back here that really wasn't supposed to come back through here, I say the county road, they wasn't using it by the church, and that is a county entrance by the church.
Yes, that's right.
So really, he could have blocked that off years ago if he had wanted to, but he didn't. And so, scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. But there is a lot of complaints out here on that entrance. So if you got permission to do it, although it's private, would you be interested in the county spending some of my tax dollars and fixing it?
There is an ordinance that the county had passed, and there's private roads all over the community, and we get to ask, and hang on a minute, we get asked this question a lot, and it's flat out illegal to go in and put any money on a private road. Now there is a provision that the owners can go in and work with the county and get it upgraded to a county standard. And then at that point, the county would take it over and maintain it, from here on. So there is ways to do it, but
well, there's different.
But it would have to become a public road at that point. We can't go in and help them, even if they agree to it and split the cost. Or like you're saying, I don't, that'd be just can't do it. But if they agree, if they want to get with me and look at it and come up with a plan, I'll be glad to talk to them. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how many private roads there are, but the concept of private road, maybe might not be 2 or 3 people on it, and that's understandable. Yep. But this is a thoroughfare, and it's constant use. So let's put an ordinance in there on that one, that it's actually used more than Boston Road probably.
It's used a lot, and buses go through that too. And I'm highly aware of it. But if you the owners of it, if you get them to contact me, I don't mind sitting down with them and try to come up with a plan.
Well, I'm sure they don't want to turn it over to a county road because, then that just distorts the whole concept of that, what they got going on down there. I guess they don't want the control either, by the county. Although, on the flip side, kind of give and take, I guess. But,
well, one thing, that's something that'd be up to them to decide that, but you get snow removal and everything else if they do. But, I'll be glad to look at it. You let them call me anytime.
I will, buddy.
All right, take care of yourself.
Don't forget to pay your garbage bill.
I'm working on it.
Bye.
See ya.
All right.
That was going to be kind of a question I was going to post. Not the garbage bill. Could somebody that owns a private road, could they deed it to the county? And
You can. It's well, since I've been a judge, and it's always been like this in the past. We got private roads. We're actually rewriting all the subdivision regulations as we speak. We've been working on it for a year, a little bit longer. The two county engineers and myself, and you got to work with planning and zoning on the subdivision regulations. And we've got a big book that we've studied about, I don't know, probably 7 or 8, 10 counties around, and look at all the standards, and they're all over the board, and the width of the streets and the depth and all this. So we are just about ready to adopt the new standards that we're going to put through. I met with the Mayor Heaton last week or 2 weeks ago, and worked out a compromise with the city because they want some little bit different standards where there's higher density. And we've got all that pretty well worked out. And our director, Sean Moore, planning and zoning, because the way the statute is, subdivision regulations has to be adopted by the planning commission. So I've kind of got the cart before the horse last year, and I had the fiscal court approve everything that we wanted to do, and then we sent it back to them, and kind of got the process started, and we're pretty much finished with it. Now, a piece of this, it's a lot of work. I put a lot of time in on this, and our engineers put a lot of time in on this because we had some ARPA money that was still in reserves. And in order for me to get some things done that I wanted to do, we went out and put some water lines in on some private roads with ARPA money, not local tax money. We did a streetlight program. We put in over about 160 or 70 streetlights throughout the county, trying to get them all done, and we used ARPA money for that. Some of the money we saved on our phone bills. We saved by going to a new phone system. So there was a lot of things that we did and I put it all in one package, and finally got the fiscal court approval because it helped every district, every magistrate, and all the citizens. And but it was really, really a lot of time and work. And Brad Spalding, and I would say Brad helped me as much as anybody on that, and my staff, and even John Greenwell, the other engineer we put a lot of time in on this, and we met. So private roads are a part of that. We're changing the specs on the private roads because a lot of counties don't allow private roads at all, okay? And it's kind of a sore subject with some of them because it become a nightmare if you don't have private road agreements when you buy the property, and who's going to maintain the road after the fact. Having water, go back to right, that we had people didn't have internet. So what we have attempted to do is to get all the existing private roads from like this day backwards, get the water, internet, and get them in pretty good shape with the private developers. Going forward, there's going to be a new set of standards, and we're going to allow them to have more lots off of private roads, so the developer or the farmer who's selling the land can still get their financial gain that they need to make, and it's their land, and we don't want to hurt anybody financially. As a farmer's retiring and he's selling his land off, and we don't want to hurt any of the developers financially because it takes a lot of money to do this, and it's a high risk, it's a gamble, and so we're going to allow them to have, I think it's basically 2 more tracks. Right now it's 3 5-acre tracks or more. Then we're going to allow them to have 5 5-acre tracks or more, and they can even go up to 7 if they got enough road frontage. And we're going to make them put a better standard on the road and put internet and water in, and so it's going to be better for the whole community moving forward. That way, the next fiscal quarter, Judge, they don't have to, get all these phone calls and everybody's wanting and needing things, and we just by law, we just can't go out there and fix the private roads. That's just a statute. So we're trying to fix this stuff moving forward, and But it's been a lot of work, a lot of hours, a lot of meetings, and we're just about ready to put this in place.
Okay. A text comes in from one of our previous show callers who's talked with us a couple of times about the zoning on J.R. Ballard Lane. Just wondering if you've had time to ride out to check it out and check out the situation. It said thanks for doing this type of program.
J.R. Ballard Lane is, I didn't get out and measure it, but it is very narrow, no doubt about it. There is a zoning request out there, and like I say, I haven't seen the application, but based on what I know, there's one, I guess, coming, or they withdrew it twice. I can't get into too much details because the zoning request would have to come through at the public hearing process, so I'm not going to get into a lot of details on it. But I did check the J.R. Ballard Lane, and it is very narrow. And my comments here are not related to the zoning. I'm just saying the maintenance of that road. We could probably go out there and do a little cleanup anyway on the shoulders, and I think that road can be widened probably, a foot on each side. It is pretty tight. There's no doubt about it. And the road probably needs a little bit of improvement with or without a zoning. So I'm not getting into the zoning part of it. But there's no doubt that it's a narrow road, and but it's not the only one out there. We've got a lot of county roads that's narrow road. Like I said before, we've widened roads and added shoulders and things throughout the county, and we've got a lot more to do. So yes, I have looked at it. I have. Matter of fact, I got my notes right there. Looking, you see that, Roth?
Yes.
See, I already had it ready to go. So we can do some improvements on that road, but but they are very limited because the right of ways are pretty tight. So, but I have looked at it, and I don't know where the zoning is or at what stage it is. I haven't seen anything come to me yet.
I noticed there's a meeting right kind of early April, right around 1st of April. I don't know if it's in that group of.
April 1st is
something like that.
April 1st. They have is a Board of Adjustments.
Okay.
They meet once a month, and then the Planning Commission meets. I guess I think it's the third Thursday. I don't know if it's on their agenda or not. Like I say, I haven't seen it, and so I don't know.
Later this week.
That would be actually a Planning Commission. This one, it'd be a zoning change. It wouldn't be a Board of Adjustments.
Okay.
Excuse me. So, yeah, a lot going on. The other gentleman called about this 2700 New Haven Road. I went out and I looked where the trees need to be trimmed. I've checked that out. Jailer will be on here next week. Like I said, I want to make sure everybody knows that. And I want to reiterate, Joe Hill Power Sports and Equipment is a sponsor of this show. And you got any more calls? 348-2222, 348-2222.
Let's see here. Says, person's concerned, and I saw something about this this morning. Text scams, this kind of comes under nationwide, but there's a text scam saying that you haven't paid a toll to go across one of our toll bridges up between Louisville and Indiana, and that it is a scam. So they just wanted.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting because I kept getting those texts too here over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and that's why hell I ain't been crossing any bridge that I know of. And I asked my wife, "So you go over and spend a bunch of money in Indiana that I'm not aware of?" But anyway, that was you call it a text scam. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I don't know how these people spend so much time trying to get around the law instead of doing something good for the community. It's just crazy, really.
But from the standpoint of what the info is that know that whatever the name of it's called, the entity that's called that operates that, they send it to you via mail. And it's a little wacky because I went to Indiana and back in one day, and it had me coming back like 8 days later. when I finally got and they came in 2 different bills, so they spent extra postage to do that. But so no text about past due or overdue tolls, which of course, and here our area would reference the Indiana-Kentucky Bridge, whatever it's called.
I don't know the name of it either.
Yeah.
The one thing I was going to talk to you about You don't have any more calls yet?
Nope.
The garbage bills. It's, what's his name a while ago? He's one that fussed about, or I say fussed, but why do you have to give your name? Well, Bubba, if you can hear me, you gave your name. I didn't ask you for your name, but you gave your name. Sorry, I've got an allergies and pretty bad hit me, but just to let everybody know, if you do call in or text, you do not have to give your name unless you want to. So if you want to call in and complain about Roth or me and or fuss about something and without getting a bunch of people upset, that's fine too. We'll take all calls, and you do not have to give your name unless you choose to do so. So I'll just put that back out there. And but Bubba did give his name today. So the one thing I'm going to talk about garbage bills, since he brought it up. We're still digging and finding more. We haven't got the final report done yet, but we have, I know it's probably over 100 there total that we've found, and that's people not getting any bills at all. And so we've been contacting people, letting them know. But what I want to be real clear here, because I did get a call. Some gentleman called, left a message, and I've tried to call him back at the office, fussing or mad, I guess, that I said on the radio show, and I don't know what I said about you wouldn't be get a bill, but just to be clear, if you've got we find out that there's a residence that has not been getting a bill, you will be getting a bill. But we're not going to go back and ask you to pay for the last 8, 5, 10 years or a year, whatever it's been, because, we don't know. I'm just finding out these addresses. So I don't think it's fair to go back and ask somebody to pay for something that's been there and knowing that, if they didn't have the bill, not pay attention to what's going on with it. And we have found some that's got vacant lots that don't get a bill. And we have found some that's adjoining property owners that's got vacant lots. So it's a really, it's been a really tough thing to try to get all this figured out, to be quite honest about it. And then we've got some rolled off bills, roll off garbage bills that we've got that we're going to have to make sure that people's paying their bills, some of them way behind. And then we found some on the dumpster bills, but the way our ordinance has been written, it's kind of tough to be able to go after people. You got to have everything correct. If they don't pay the bill, we got to make sure we're covered legally and liability-wise. So. But what I'm basically telling everybody is if you're getting a service, you need to pay for your service. And if you get behind, it's not my fault, it's your fault. And we're trying to get everything cleared up and cleaned up. And then, I told you before, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it's a lot of money. And I don't think it's fair for, some of it has been, well, I don't want to get in the weeds of it today again because I've talked about this so much, but when I get a final report here, and it may be another month or two before I get it finalized, that we'll hopefully get all this cleared up and get the building lined out a little bit better and how we do stuff internally, and it'll get cleared up hopefully. But I'm not going to go back and send a bill to anybody that hadn't received a bill that they didn't know about. So,
Judge, we have a text that came in. I'm going to try to read it verbatim. So it says, historically in Nelson County, it seemed there has been an us and them situation here, with the us being downtown Bardstown and the them being Nelson County. I am so appreciative of the fact that during your administration, you've continuously worked to bridge that gap. This is the type of leadership that we have needed for years, and hopefully your efforts will continue for the future. To ensure that we don't slip back into the we've always done it this way scenario, I appreciate the fact that you are willing to look outside the box, take chances, and not Band-Aid situations that are only going to deteriorate. I understand that there are budgeting and monetary concerns, and obviously that needs to be considered, but it's also important to plan for the future and not leave the problems for future Nelson Countyans. Thanks. She is from New Haven.
Did they give me a name on that one?
Mary Ann, but no last name.
No. Well, I appreciate the comment, and that's been an important part since I got elected and when I campaigned on, and exactly what she said. It's us and you, we and them, or not us, but it's, all this I and I and I and I. And I have tried very hard to include everybody. I've had 5 magistrates that are very active, and county attorney, Chip McKay, the engineers, and my staff. I've tried to include everybody on about every piece of information that comes through to communicate and have an open line of communication with, just like what I'm doing on this radio show. And I've heard a little bit of rumbling, here or there about, me and Mayor Heaton not getting along or whatever, but, it's just false. We get along fine. Actually, I think we've got a better relationship than we've ever had on a lot of issues. And try to, you talked about it last week about the recreation that was split up, fire departments that were split up before he got there and before I got there, and for whatever reason they happened. And I'm not saying it's good, bad, or in between, but you gotta, when you coming in, everybody's got different styles, different policies, and different ways they manage. And I know my personality, and I know I'm pretty aggressive, and I want things done, and I don't like to wait too much. And I think most of my team and all the staff and all the different departments have understood that, and I appreciate them working with me. And I did have to weed out a few. There's probably 8 or 10 that's gone that was here, but that's just the way it is. Different styles, different management. But we have worked hard. I have worked extremely hard to make sure everybody, New Haven is not left out, Bloomfield is not left out, Fairfield is not left out, and even Bardstown not left out, because some people think that, and it's out there. Hell, I heard it a bunch. And, it's like 2 different counties. You got the city of Bardstown, then you got the outside rural areas. And you hear it when you're campaigning them, you hear it, well, why y'all let all that stuff happen in Bardstown? We don't, whatever. And so you hear all these different comments, and I think bridging that gap and try to conquer some of the misunderstandings and have an open line of communication. I go to some Bardstown City Council meetings from time to time. I just go in, listen. New Haven and Bloomfield and Fairfield. Fairfield don't have as much resources. It's a little tougher on them guys. And we, just go. I just go, just listen, talk, and let them know that I'm there. And then if they got some problems or issues, I don't want to hear their problems, but sometimes I do. But sorry, I'm not head. I guess it's this pretty weather we're having, Roth. But I appreciate that comment from her, and we have really tried hard, and I think we've conquered that pretty much. I think everybody's getting along very well, and I really appreciate that comment, because we have tried hard to make sure we include everybody, and that's important to me, regardless of who's running for political office and all that. I think once you leave. When I leave this office, or anybody leaves their elected position, they need to try to make it better for the next person coming in. One thing I was going to tell you, Roth, is you got any more calls or text?
There's a caller being screened right now, and I got a text up here, I believe.
Let's go ahead and I'll get into this.
Okay. Question comes in: what is the county or state doing on the corner of Highway 245 at the old quarry and Bloomfield Road? It's a development, or maybe installing lights. 245 at Bloomfield Road. That's where the New Haven Hill is, distillery is, and there's going to be there's a retail application for a retail development up there from Tractors, but I don't know the corner. What's
I thought they withdrew that application.
I don't know.
And to give an answer here probably is not going to be accurate because I don't really know. Tractor Supply had a application at the last zoning, and they withdrew it.
Okay.
I don't know if that was on the corner lot or one of the down on 245 on the Mago side. The only thing I know that's going in over there now that's still continuing is the Heaven Hill project. So to answer the question, I hate to use that, but I don't really know what's going on there, unless it's an infrastructure deal or a water line or anything. I don't know.
I don't know either.
But when I leave here, I'm going to drive out there and find out.
I do see some materials up there, but with all the projects going on with water lines, sometimes they need places to store them.
Because there is a lot of water lines being upgraded throughout the county, and sewer lines too in some places. But that's the only one I really can't answer that question.
And thank you. I did not know that application had been pulled because they don't.
Well, they tabled it. At the last meeting, they tabled it.
Okay.
And but that's in the city limits, and it wouldn't really come to the county if it did on our approval. But it was tabled.
We're going to the telephone with the caller. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Yes. This is Dwayne Osborne. Very proud of our new judge. Doing a wonderful job. Registered Democrat. I went yesterday and changed that. We need more Republicans like Mr. Hutchins in there and Donald Trump. Doing a wonderful job. Justin Hall has turned the jail around. Doing great. People better wake up and pay attention. Make everything transparent. When you call in, there's no need not to give your name. If you're going to call in and fuss about something, put it on the table, tell your name, who you are. Yeah. You're doing a good job, buddy. Keep digging, keep getting it.
And thank you. I appreciate it very much.
Tickled to death to have you in there. Yeah. Wonderful job. Whole crew.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Our phone number 348-2222 for phone calls and text. And don't forget, we've got about 6 minutes left in today's show.
That's all we got? Man, Ross, you was busy.
Let's see. That's the last text. Okay.
Yeah. The one thing I was talking about, this transparency, and let me see what else I got on my notes here. Is but we've had some good calls and texts today, and I really appreciate and encourage more people to call and text us in the next, every week at 11 o'clock or from 11 to 12 on this radio show. And as we bring people on, and you'll see there's a lot of things going on in the community. It's this one sheet. I guess I don't know if people watch the TV side of it here. There's about 20 different departments that we started, and I've talked about this a little bit. You can go on our website, and we put out a report, and I'm going to read them, okay? On the radio, I'm going to read them because you can't see through the radio, but I started this about 3 or 4 months ago, and it's been really, really good. We don't take as much time up when we come to our meetings, and if you got any calls, you can interrupt me. And we always had a recreation report, or we always had a road department report or landfill report, and we did that back when I was magistrate, and of course Dean and the crew did the same thing pretty much. So I've tried to expand this because one reason you got the internet now, and you've got a lot of things you can do with social media, and so I've asked all these departments in the county, a lot of them's under the state, and some of them not directly under the county, but it puts out a kind of perspective, and I know everybody's not going to sit around and go to it and study it's pretty detailed, and I don't know if you've seen it or not. It's very detailed, but if you just sit around and pop it up and pull it up instead of watching Jeopardy at night, go down there and look and see how important these roles are for all these different departments and what we do in the county and what they do in the county. And I'm going to tell you, they're busy. All these different departments are extremely busy, and I deal with a lot of them, talk to a lot of them, and Nelson County Animal Control, I'm going to start from the top. Nelson County Code Enforcement, Nelson County Human Resources, Payroll and Benefits, Occupational License and Garbage, the Finance and Operational, Treasurer, Nelson County Clerk, Nelson County Circuit Clerk, Sheriff's Office, Recreation Department, Correctional Center, Nelson County Coroner. People don't realize how busy that office is. Nelson County Emergency Services, Nelson County Dispatch, that's the Joint City and County Planning and Zoning, Nelson County Economic Development, Road Department, Solid Waste and Landfill, the Engineers, the Deputy Judge, Emergency Management, and the Nelson County Attorney. I think I've hit them all, but every month I've asked all these different departments to, some of them are already putting out some reports, but I've asked them to put out a report every month at the end of the month, and I got a packet, I've got it right here, that it's printed, that I present to the court. All the magistrates get this before the court meeting, and it gives us a very detailed of what's going on. And then, like I say, we put it on our Facebook, our website, all the media. So if there's something going on in the community that people don't know about, they'd be kind of lost if they don't really want to find out. So, I mean, it's very important to me that we started this, and I think it's been really, really good to let everybody in the community knows back, like these phone calls we've had today about transparency and trying to keep up with everything. And it's not easy. I mean, I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect, and we're going to make mistakes every day, but we try to get better every day.
Judge, we're quickly running out of time. Fiscal court meets this evening, 6 o'clock.
Meet at 6 o'clock today, and I think, I don't know if what I'd say we got any what I call hot topics on here. It's basically business as usual, but there's some important stuff on the agenda. And people that's called about these potholes and other things, I'll get on that as soon as I leave here. And anytime anybody's got anything they want to talk about that they can't get on the show, it's called the office 348-1800, 348-1800. And I want to thank Joe Hills Power Sports and Equipment for sponsoring this, and Roth, thank you for your time.
Phase 3 of the roadside bulky item pickup begins Monday officially, but you say be ready because crews may get out a little early?
No. They'll start.
They'll start on Monday.
This phase we're going to get done earlier, and it gives us time, but we'll start back on the regular phase as scheduled.
On schedule Monday, yes. And it is east of 49. So the map is available, as you said, online, and just everybody get ready. I got mine ready. That's a show for today. We'll be back next Tuesday, as Judge said, for Around the County here on WBRT Radio.